Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Let's see if anyone jumps on. Wow, the light's a bit weird because it's sort of sunset right now, so I think my computer doesn't know what to do, where to zoom. And it's raining, as you can see. And it's so beautiful. The rain is absolutely gorgeous. Yay, we have people jumping on. Say hello. Hi, how are you doing? I can't see yet who it is. Usually I get like a message like a few seconds after the person connects. So this is probably going to be a vulnerable share, people. So I really recommend you bring your tissues. I'm I don't have my tissues ready, but it's okay if I cry. I had an amazing experience that I want to share with you because this is going to hit home for many people, for many of you here. I know this. And so I also know that being fully and truthful, fully authentic and truthful in the situation is the best way. And this is the way that I live my life right now, is to really engage with my truth, what is there, what's happening, and to share it as it comes. So, looks like I have two people watching. Can you please say hello so I see who it is, so I can say hello to you? I'm not sure why my computer doesn't seem to tell me who it is. So, it would be lovely to know who's actually watching and who's ready for this, because it's just going to be a bomb dropper, and I know that it's going to be incredibly beautiful, but also it's going to be hard. Hey, Lena. Lovely to see you here. So as you know, probably, I had this goddess detox time where I completely disconnected from social media. So I spent time on my own, spent time meditating, spent time just catching up on things that I didn't have a chance to. And I went really deep. I was going into a lot of things around money, how to manifest money and how to manifest money powerfully. But also what I found was that more than money manifestation, it's all about self-worth and really feeling out what it is that you feel worthy of. And so I'm extremely passionate about this right now because I'm about to launch something new that I'm very excited about. And so I'm, as it is, like, you keep learning as you go. You keep diving into these things on your own. And then that's how I do it. As I go with myself, I process, and then I bring it out into the open. And so usually this doesn't happen when I'm going into these moments. I don't necessarily go outside. But this time around, I was guided to go out. I was guided to go have dinner outside. I was going to just order some food here, but was like, okay, I'm just going to follow this. And so I went with this intention of staying in my own space and with the intention of just feeling into the moment and being fully connected to what was going on around me without necessarily fully engaging with the outside world, because I knew that I was in a state of retreat as such. So I didn't want to fully engage. So that was the intention. And so I sat down in one of these beautiful places that are close by here. They have amazing vegan food. I sat down, and already what was funny is I saw a friend, and that's quite, unusual. Literally, I sat down and she was standing across from me, and I waved her over, and then she came and sat with me for 5 minutes, and then she left. And I had my tarot cards with me, and I just, did a reading for myself because I felt guided to. And so I was just, I had my headphones in and I was doing a reading as if I was doing a reading for someone else, because that's usually how I channel the best, especially when you're doing readings for yourself. It can be a bit awkward. I don't know if any of you here do tarot readings, but doing a tarot reading for yourself is always a different scenario. I'm just saying hello to all of you. There's a few people watching. Apart from Lena, I don't know who is watching because I'm on my computer. I'd love to say hello to you, but yeah, so if you don't say hi in the chat box, I don't know who's watching. So it'd be lovely to know who's watching me, because, yeah, I'm about to drop this vulnerable share, and it's I guess it's kind of nice for me to know who's going to be watching me right now, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be. And so as I finished, I put my headphones back down and I started to eat my food. And there's this gentleman who was sitting across the table on the other side, and he said, "Do you do a lot of readings?" Hey, Kimberly, lovely to see you here. Yes, so now I know who's watching. This is great. So do you guys do readings? Do you do tarot readings as well? Like, tell me what you do. I would love to know what you guys do, because I think you both are actually new in the group. So it'd be lovely to see and know who you are and what you do and what you're passionate about. Anyway, so this guy asks whether I do readings for many people. And I said, actually, I don't, because tarot to me is very sacred and I don't advertise it much out there. I don't necessarily go into it much because it's a sacred thing. And when I feel guided to, I will promote it, but I generally don't promote tarot. It's more something I just do, and people come to me and they have sessions, but I don't necessarily put it big out there. And so he seemed to have been interested, and I said, well, we can do a reading later if you're interested. I'm happy to open the space for you. And so we ended up sitting together after I finished my meal, and we had this beautiful conversation about traveling and about, we were just connecting and just this beautiful flow. He was a lovely gentleman, had been traveling around the world a lot, just, like myself. And we were just having these traveler stories, right? Like what you do, you just chat, you're just open-minded, and you're just curious to know about these people. And so it was really amazing because I could feel that there was a lot of curiosity from his side, and there was also a lot of curiosity from my side, right? So it was just this open space. It was happening, and I was just embracing it, even though, hey, Dawn, so sweet to see you here. Yes, one of my lovely friends from London. I love you so much. And so we were just in the free flow, and Dawn, you probably can totally relate with this, when you're traveling and then you just meet people. And I'm sorry, by the way, my computer seems to be doing these weird things with the light, but it's just because I'm kind of like against the light or something. Anyway, this is just how it is. You're getting the information. And so, yeah, that was it. It was an amazing conversation, really inspiring, and I could feel this person's heart, like it was so beautiful. And so, yeah, the intention was for me to go back home and then continue with my meditation. And so I came home, and funny enough, he actually had paid for my meal. So that was quite something to me. I was like, I wasn't expecting it, and he had already left. So I just, we exchanged messages because I didn't get the chance to actually do his tarot reading. Yes, thanks for the hearts. Yes, heart connections. And so I always trust that I meet the right people at the right time. This is just something, it happens, and it's always happened. And I just trust that the universe gives us what we are able to handle. Give me a heart if you agree with this, or just, type it in and just tell me the last time that you felt this, that the universe gave you something that was difficult to handle and you were able to. Anyway, so it comes, evening, and I was in my room, and I was having this amazing heartfelt connection with my body, and I was just dancing naked. And it has been a while I haven't danced naked, and I was just allowing myself to be in that space, just being really fully intimate with myself, and just being in flow with the music, and really feeling this love that I was creating, that I've been creating in my life, especially during my trip, right? It's been so intense. And it was probably the second time, actually, that I felt so fully connected that, yes, another naked dancer, woo! This is actually one of my dreams. I want to create a retreat for women in a beautiful tropical paradise where we will have naked dancing sessions together and just, have this sister heart-to-heart connection. I know this is making some of you freak out if you listen to the replay, but there's something so beautiful about dancing naked and really embracing your body. I mean, it's really amazing. It's transformational. It's been transformational for me as an ex-dancer to be able to see myself in my own body without becoming judgmental and criticizing. And what was amazing as well is that in that moment, I was feeling so much love for my belly. And my belly is actually the part in my body that I've always had a lot of hard times accepting. And it's only since I went to a retreat in Arizona in September that I understood the meaning of my belly, the meaning of my belly as a woman. This is where I create life, right? So how can I not fully embrace my belly? But I mean, this is all conditioning. I'm kind of going a bit off topic, but that's fine. It's a little bit of conditioning that I've been exposed to, you know, of not showing my belly, do not show your belly, blah, blah, blah. In other cultures, this is totally normal. Where I grew up, this wasn't very well seen, especially not by the older generation. And so somehow I developed this thing that my belly is ugly and I shouldn't show it. And that, you know, it's too fat and I shouldn't, you know. And so I was having this naked dance with myself and just fully embracing my body and my belly, just being so joyful in that space and just moving my belly and just feeling it. I was actually touching it and stroking it. It was just, anyway, transformational, right? And so I was all sweaty and everything, and I just lay down in bed and I was just inhaling this amazing connection that I had built with my body. And so I see some messages come through, and I checked my phone, and, you know, it was just like, you know, some text messages that were coming through, and it was this man, you know, this man who was messaging me, and, you know, we were kind of continuing our conversation over the phone. And I said, well, I'm kind of cheating right now because I'm supposed to be in this internal space. But for some reason, I couldn't, you know, it felt like there was something that I needed to explore. And so I ended up meeting with him in the evening, and he came to pick me up and we went to have a drink together. And, you know, it was just, you know, it was non-alcoholic for me because I don't drink alcohol. But we were just having this beautiful moment together, and it was insane, ladies. Like, you know, when you meet a man and you feel such a beautiful connection, like you feel this person's heart, you feel their intention, you feel that they're in this free flow, you feel this joy they have for life, and this, you know, just fully embracing themselves, just fully embracing the experiences that life has brought to them. And then when people share about their hardship, I always think it's so courageous, especially when you don't know a person. Even though this happens to me a lot, like sometimes people just come to me and I've literally met them maybe for 10 minutes and then they open up and then just, you know, they just tell me things. And I feel that, I don't know, does that happen to you sometimes? Like, I feel that us healers and light workers and teachers, we often get this. Like, people just come to us and then they just pour their hearts out. And this is what literally was happening. This man was just pouring his heart out. And I was pouring my heart out, right? Because I've also went through things, and, right? Yes, Lena, of course. And so, anyway, the evening continues and it continues, and it was just amazing. Like, the connection kept building and building, and I was just in this free-spirited flow. I was just feeling the playfulness, and I was feeling, you know, erotic and sexy without it being sexual necessarily, but I was just feeling this goddess energy. And I was like, wow, you know, I wanted to get off social media in order to feel like a goddess. And there I was having this amazing experience with this man, and I was feeling like a goddess. It's like he was igniting something in me. And anyway, so he came back and we just hung out, and we were just having, you know, the conversation was just flowing. It was beautiful. And across the night, or the evening, there were moments when, you know, we were just eye gazing. And I don't know if you've ever eye gazed with people, but eye gazing to me is the way I most love to connect with people. And it's not necessarily what you see in their eyes, it's just the capacity to hold eye gazing with someone. It takes so much courage, right? It takes so much presence and so much vulnerability. I mean, I lived in London for 8 years, and if you looked into someone's eyes, people would just freak out. They'd just be like, oh my God, I don't want to, whoa, this is weird, right? And I'm like, how is that weird? Like, that's totally not weird. I love to eye gaze with people, right? Yes, Dawn, I know. You live in London too, so you know about this, right? But people think you're crazy if you go eye gazing. And I'm like, it's the most beautiful thing to me. Like, when I can have a conversation and I can have eye gazing with that person at the same time, it's like I'm fully receiving and hearing them, right? And I'm fully being seen too. So it's like this beautiful exchange. And so there I was with this man under the Balinese starry sky, and we were just eye gazing, and it was just pure presence, just stillness and presence and breath and beauty and love and connection just flowing in. And so there's this moment when he says, you know, I'm dying to kiss you. It just hit me, you know, because up to then I was like, yeah, this is a beautiful flow, this beautiful connection. But then that phrase just dropped, right? And I was like, wow, this is nice. Like, you know, the first guy who is not trying to possess me in any way, who doesn't, not the first one, but I'm exaggerating, but, you know, who's not just like taking the thing, you know, to just, that he's asking for permission, right? That he's asking for me to go into this, right? And so, and I said, yes, you may, right? Like, it was such a perfect moment. And I mean, it's just what happened. And so we kissed, and it was so delightful. I mean, just this connection, and it's just the perfect kiss, you know, like not the pecking, not the hard thing. It's just like this sensual, beautiful kiss where you're just exchanging energy and you're feeling the body and you're feeling this. I feel like I'm telling you a soap opera story right now, but seriously, it was amazing, right? And so there comes, you know, the time when it started to get really hot, and I was like, we should jump into the pool together. We should have, you know, we should do the pool thing together. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I, you know, went to get some towels, and obviously I'm very comfortable with my body. And, you know, if even, you know, I always ask if it's okay if I can do something nude, because I know that it can get into people's ways. And so, you know, there we were in this swimming pool, just, you know, bathing naked, bathing together, and having this amazing connection. And seriously, ladies, it felt like I was just in this free flow. Like, he was holding me, and I could feel my body just being swayed in the water as he was just, you know, moving me across the water. And I was fully in my senses. Like, I could smell, I could see, I could fully receive him, I could taste him, I could, like, you know, it was just amazing, right? And I just thought, wow, yes, I'm having lots of wows and ooh, like all kinds of crazy connections, right? But it's just, yeah, perfection in motion. And so we continued on, and it was just, you know, like this moment where you just, things just drag on, and you're just fully allowing the space, the stillness to open, and this presence to open, this energy to flow. And it just kept dancing and dancing, and I could feel the divine masculine and divine feminine just dancing between us. And it's like we were both totally flabbergasted and mesmerized, to be fair, because I wasn't expecting this to happen this fast. I mean, I can go very quickly, very deep, and very fast. And if I don't know if we have any sexual priestesses in here, but, you know, when you're a sexual priestess and you have activated that sexual energy in you, these things can happen very fast. But you're always having this thing, you know, okay, am I working? Am I not? Like, is this work? Is this, you know, am I being in the support system? Am I holding space, or am I just free flowing? And this was one of the moments when I felt, no, this is one of the experiences where I'm just free flowing. I'm just falling. I'm just surrendering. I'm just allowing. I'm just receiving this amazing human being, and I'm receiving this time with this amazing human being. And so it obviously continued into sensuality and sensual play, continued into lovemaking, like, oh my God. It was just, I'm just totally exhilarated, because that's really what it was. It was just beautiful. Like, it was, you know, like when I talk to women about being worshipped like a goddess, and that we deserve to be worshipped like a goddess. We deserve to have this reverence from a man, to worship our yoni, to worship our body, to worship our whole being. We deserve this, right? And there I was having this experience, right? All the way. I mean, I've had this experience with some of my current lovers, right? But never in this way, right? Never in this way where there wasn't a build up, you know, or some kind of, just build up. I mean, I had met this guy literally 6 hours before that, and there we were having this amazing connection, and it was just beautiful. And so we ended up spending the whole day together, and he even, like, he was here with a friend, but his friend was almost more excited that he met me than meeting him, you know, because they were going to travel together anyway, so they would have time to catch up afterwards. But ladies, I'm telling you, it's really that soulmate encounter. This is what I was having. I was having a soulmate encounter. This man came into my life to open my heart on a whole new level, and the tissues will be coming soon, because it's like, it's just fabulous. It's magical. It's real magic. Magic exists. It exists, right? If you tap into this space where magic is possible, you will experience it. And I was experiencing it. I've experienced it many times, but this was just another one of these experiences. And gosh, I almost don't want to drop the bomb because it's so beautiful, right? It's like, oh, it's so perfect. But it's coming, and I will have to share it, because this is why it's so important. Because what happened is, we spent this beautiful day together, and again, you know, in the evening and everything, and then he left. So on Sunday morning, he left. And literally, it was like my heart was breaking, because I could feel my body desiring this man so much, like desiring not only his body, I was desiring his personality, like his way of being, you know. He was reciting poems to me, like Shakespearean poems. And I'm like, ah! Yes, totally, Dawn. This is totally a past life thing. Like, I mean, in the lovemaking process, we were calling each other my king and my queen. I mean, this is how, you know, and I could feel the sensation. And when I was touching his body, I could feel this royalty in him, right? I could feel the essence of royalty in this man. And I felt like royalty myself, right? Because we both had this reverence for each other. It was just, it's out of this world. Seriously, out of this world. And and I mean, when he left, we both were like, you know, everything he wanted was to just pull back his car and just drive back here and spend more time with me, because it felt like we didn't have enough time to exchange and develop this beautiful connection, right? And then he was just traveling on, and I'm like, oh. I was even thinking of just, you know, canceling the place that I booked out for the next month, and to, you know, book a flight instead and follow him. Like, literally, that's what was going on, because it was so mind-blowing. And so during the messaging, you know, after that, he went to the airport, took his flight, blah blah blah. And then when he was on the other side, we were like, well, let's talk about this, because he's able to change his plans. And he said, I really feel that Bali is where our magic lies. And I said, no, we can make magic anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter where we are. This connection that we have, like, this is something else, right? And I've experienced this with actually the 3 soulmate lovers that I mentioned in my sex magic class. Those 3 were very similar scenarios like this. But this one was very intense because of the speed at which this connection happened, and it literally was this explosive thing. And so we agreed to have a phone call together later in the day, and so this was yesterday afternoon. And then what happened is, he called me, and then he, you know, we were just briefly saying how our days went, and then he said, I cannot go on without telling you this, and I don't know how you will receive this, and I don't know how to tell you this, because what happened between us was so strong and so powerful and so amazing. But I have to tell you God, it just breaks my heart to just like have to tell you this, ladies, because there is this man who was so perfect. Everything was just amazing, right? And then he tells me that he's married. And in that moment, my heart just shattered into a million pieces. It shattered into a million pieces for so many reasons. So many reasons, because I live my life with so much integrity, right? Like, ladies, the reason why I opened this group, Sexy Magic for Goddesses, is because I want to celebrate the goddess in every single one of you, right? Like, this is my mission. My mission in this world is to make women feel celebrated all the way, and to stomp my foot in the ground and say, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved on your own terms. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be protected. You deserve to be felt and seen and received and celebrated. And you know what I mean? Like, this is my work. This is my work. This is what I do. And there I was in a situation where I felt that I was entangled into hurting another sister. And this is why my heart broke. It broke into a million pieces because I felt so responsible for this woman. She doesn't even know yet that she's been hurt like that. And there I was, having this experience, right? Feeling like I betrayed another woman. I betrayed another human being in their ability and capacity to love somebody, right? And I mean, it's strong. This is powerful shit, ladies. This is really powerful shit. And I'm not blaming this man. You know, I can't, because I honestly feel there is nobody to blame in this situation. There isn't. And yet, we're both to blame. And this is what I want to come to, is that with every single lover up to now, I've always had two conversations. Always. First conversation is always, is there anyone in your life right now who could be hurt, or who could be in some way feel traumatized or shocked or surprised or sad, or, you know, by this interaction? Every single time I will have this conversation when I'm with a lover. Second conversation I will have is a very open conversation about sexually transmittable diseases and chances of this happening, because it is real, right? And with this man, I didn't, right? And so this is where I have to stand my ground, and I almost feel like I need to apologize to every single one of you, because I betrayed myself. And by betraying myself, I betrayed every single sister on this planet. Because we're all connected. Like, this is all an interaction here, right? We're all connected. And so this withholding of the truth was truly just because he genuinely felt that if he told me the truth, I wasn't able to love him the way that I was loving him, right? And he asked me, like, well, would it have changed anything if I had told you that? And I said, fuck yeah, it would have changed everything. Because of course I wouldn't have done any of that, right? I mean, this free flow and this, jumping in the pool together and having this amazing lovemaking. I mean, I was just in awe of this amazing human being, right? It was a connection between two human beings. And I really believe that, what you said, Dawn, it was a past life experience that we had. We must have had some kind of past life together, because the energetics there was so strong and so powerful. And here we are, coming back together, and then we have this amazing connection. Yet, as real as this connection was, the withholding of that one detail and me not asking for that detail purposely just changed everything. And the repercussions are huge. And I cried so much yesterday. I cried because I cried for how much we entangle ourselves in these situations where we place ourselves into these cages where we believe that if we don't show ourselves all the way, we're not going to be loved and we're undeserving of love. I mean, what the... You know what I mean? Like, why? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we believe that if we don't show who we really are? And I mean, this is not me blaming this guy, because I do this all the time. I'm the first one to do this all the time. Just like I was, reconnecting to this video, and I'm like, am I doing this? Am I really doing this? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this, because these ladies need to know who they're speaking to here. Like, I am Elizabeth. Like, I'm Lizzie. And you ladies need to know who I am all the way. You need to know my experiences. You need to know where I'm coming from. You need to know my story, because my story is your story. Right? And it's like, with all of it, with the sadness, with the happy parts, with the inspiration, with all of that, right? And so I called him out on this. I said to him, the reason why you didn't tell me the whole story was because you were afraid that I could possibly not love you, right? But the truth is, like, I would have loved to love you in honor with all of what you are, like with all the roles that you're playing, you being a husband, you being a man, you being a boy, you being a free spirit, you being all of that, and this is, I always keep coming back to this conclusion that love is not either or, it's this and. Love is inclusive. If at any given point in your life you feel that one part is acceptable and the other one isn't, that's not love. If at any given point you feel that I may love this person but I cannot love this other person, that's not love. You see, because now we were in this triangle here, me being entangled in this, and I never gave my consent to hurt this other human being. And I never gave consent to hurt myself like this. I mean, I was just in this free flow, this beautiful opening, this heart opening experience. This is what I wanted to experience, right? Being a goddess, living this, experience of being worshipped and having this devotion as a goddess and being able to see God in another man. And that was a sacred union. And so when we don't bring our full selves into a connection, into a relationship, it doesn't matter what your relationship is, whether it is just you and your lover, whether it's you and your husband, you and your boyfriend, you and just a man you meet on the road, you and a girlfriend, like anyone, right? Like, we deserve to be loved for everything that we are. And the other person deserves to know whether they are worthy of giving you that love. I mean, they're always worthy, but whether they consent to giving you that love, right? And I seriously believe that this is why so many marriages break. Not because they break. It's not about the break. They break, and they break in ways that are so hurtful and so painful because people do not allow themselves to show all of their facets. I mean, this man he's allowed to desire another woman. He's allowed to desire to be loved. He's allowed to desire to feel an experience with another woman. He's allowed to have all of it, right? That's the core essence, is he is allowed to have that experience, but he needs to have integrity. He needs to have that integrity. And we are the same, right? We deserve to love as many people as we want to love. We deserve to receive the love that we desire. We deserve to be celebrated and worshipped like a goddess. We deserve to choose how many lovers enter our sacred temple, right? We deserve all of that. But we've got to stay in integrity. We've got to stay connected to our boundaries and to the agreements that we made with all the other human beings in our lives, right? Because what else are you building, right? What are you building otherwise? You're building this fake thing. And so let me tell you a little bit about what happens after that, right? And this is why, as much as this broke my heart that, I couldn't be able to love this man anymore the way I desired to love him, I understood that actually what the core of this was that it's a bit like grief, It's when somebody dies. You're pouring your love and energy towards this person, and when this person disappears, you're still, like, your whole being is still pouring the love and the energy into that human being. And so what you're having to do is to redirect that love and that energy. You have to find new ways to redirect that energy. Grief just needs a new place to go and find and pour love into. And the first person we need to pour that love into most of the time is ourselves, right? We have to pour that love back into ourselves and refill our own cup. So once that concept hit home, I started to feel a little bit more relaxed. And then what happened, and this is why the beauty is in having your heart broken by someone who is conscious, having your heart broken in this manner by someone who is so in tune with themselves, that even if they got lost for a second, they can find that path back. And so here's what this propelled in this man. He sat down and he wrote out a long list of all the things that he had been living by, not being his full, genuine, and authentic self. So he literally sat down and wrote a list towards about all the people he had not been genuine to, all the things that he was doing in his life right now that wasn't his full self, where he wasn't fully embracing himself with all his desires and all his being, right? I mean, how fucking beautiful is that, right? And then he called his mother and he said, "These are the things that I never told you because I thought you would take your love away from me, because I was scared that you would stop loving me, that you would be disappointed in me." Right? And then his mother said, "But you can never lose my love. The choices that you made might not have been my preference, but I would never disapprove of you." Right? And I had a very similar situation like this when I had the abortion 2 years ago. I didn't tell my mother, and I purposely went to Luxembourg to visit my parents 4 months later to tell them in person, and I wasn't able to do it. And then a week later, I broke down in tears because my mom at the time when she had me, a lot of people were trying to convince her to have an abortion, and she didn't opt for the abortion, obviously, because I'm here. So when I went through the abortion, my biggest fear was to face my mother, because I'm like, she decided not to abort me, and there I was having an abortion. I mean, Crazy, right? And I thought, this is the worst thing I could possibly have done, right? And so when I had this conversation with her on the phone, she said, but darling, but I wish you would have told me so I could have supported you, because I would never, ever disapprove of your choices. Your choices are your choices. And guess what? Since then, me and my mom are best buddies. Like, we're having the sister-to-sister connection. And this is what it boils down to when you allow yourself to show your pain to other people. Those people who really care about you, they will stand by your side like a fierce rock in the ocean and in the storm. Do you feel that? Do you feel the size of this? Because these people who really care about you, they desire nothing else but to love you so much and so deeply and so caringly and so devotedly. There's not a thing you could ever do that would make them run away from you, right? And you need to honor these people. You need to honor these people by giving them the choice and the opportunity to love you this way. Right? This is being in integrity within your relationships, is you give the other people the choice, the free choice, that whatever you do, you've done, and you allow it to be there. And you allow this person to choose whatever they choose. But if they choose, I still love you, and I still want to be with you, and I still want to stay right here by your side, I'm not shifting one bit. I mean, don't we all want to be loved like that? Just put yes in the comments. Like, don't you want to be loved like that, where you can stand bare naked in front of this person, right? Fully showing your pounding heart in your hand. Don't you want to be loved like this? I mean, it's such a gift, right? And so I guess this is where I have to come to terms with the fact that I'm a fucking catalyst. Like, when people walk into my life, I catalyze them into something bigger. There is something here that was an action that was so much bigger than I could even think of, right? And this, me having my heart broken, I'm almost like, thank you. Thank you for breaking my heart. Thank you for showing me that I can love so deeply and so fiercely, that I can surrender so much, that I can open up so much with another human being. Thank you for showing me that this size of how I opened was the same size I felt the hurt and the pain, and I can stand here in front of you and have this conversation with you and share this from my heart, right? And so, just reading your comments. Ladies, this is really powerful. If you're in a relationship right now that doesn't feel right, if you're living a life that doesn't feel right, if you're doing things that don't feel right, please allow yourself this opportunity to be a victor of your own life and be a victor of yourself, and stand so fiercely and so bold in your shoes that you're allowing other people to see you for who you are, for who you really are, with your fears, with your everything. Allow people to fucking love you. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is a vulnerable share, but seriously, like, this was my lesson. It was my lesson to understand that even though there is this catalyzing effect that was happening right now for this man, this is what he needed to come to terms with. And so he decided that from now on, he wants to have this connection with his wife, where instead of watching TV and reading in the evening, they're going to sit together and worship each other's bodies and talk about their desires and their emotions, because he feels that it's so important, right? And I'm having to let this person go. And I know that it's okay, because if the universe put one of these people into my life, the universe is going to bring tons more, right? Like, this man is beautiful. Seriously, he's amazing. He's such an amazing human being. And I mean, how amazing that I got the opportunity and the honor to have my heart broken by someone who is so deeply connected to himself, and that he is willing to do what it takes to take this love back home and to come back home to himself. Like, he just needed to find his home, right? And I needed to find my home too in this. And so here I am, you know, like sharing this vulnerable thing with you, and also to understand that whenever this infidelity thing is happening, if this happened to you, just really sit with this and see how, if it happened to you on the doer side, see how much you believe the lie that you couldn't be loved with your desires. And if this happened to you because a partner cheated on you, just see and have compassion and understand how this other human being believed the lie that he couldn't be loved by you with his whole being. And this is actually the depth of the pain and disconnection. We disconnect because we believe these lies that we can't be loved for who we really are. And they're lies. They're straight damn lies. You can be totally loved for who you are right now, with your body, with your scars, with your shadows, with the things you dislike, with everything, right? And so if you are believing this lie right now and you don't know how to get out of it, please feel free to reach out. Send me a message. Like, I want to talk to you about this, right? And this is not a sales call. This is not a sales call, because this is so much deeper than that. This is about journeying into yourself. It's about finding your journey back home. It's about becoming the wolf woman and walking through your own forest and feeling at home in your own forest with the beautiful trees that are starting to blossom and the old trees that have fallen and rotten. This is about you being able to walk in your forest and say, this is the most amazing forest I'm walking in. And I'm so grateful to be here with all of those trees and all of those beings coming in and out. Yes. Exactly. Yes, Dawn. Every encounter happens for a reason and comes at the exact time in which we need it. I truly believe this, and this is why this was such a catalyzing experience for me, because I needed to feel this free fall again. You know, after 2 years of being single, moving in and out with lovers, having multiple lovers, having had so many beautiful experiences, I needed to feel this heartbreak. I needed to feel this heartbreak because I needed to grasp, have a sensation of how fiercely and how much I can love. So this was the teaching that I received from him, and I know that there's so many more, right? There was so many gifts on a sensual and physical level. Like, I mean, I allowed him to do things that I had never allowed anyone else to do, out of fear, out of all kinds of different things. Like, and so being able to be in that space, so raw and open and vulnerable and surrendered, I guess, and fully trusting. I needed to feel that again. I needed to feel that. And I needed to feel that I can experience that again. You know, this love without needing to be caged up, because there was not 1 second when I felt that I was some kind of possession or object to this man. Not 1 second. At no given moment did he ever make me feel like I was one of his prizes. And this is a big thing for me, because a lot of men that I cow to have this with me, they want to possess me in some kind of way. And I know that this is talking to some of you, because I know I've talked to some of you about this. We are no fucking prize. We're no prize. We're not an object. We're not a body. We're not a body part. We're so much more than that, right? And so I needed to experience that the divine masculine is in action right now on this planet and is honoring the divine feminine in this way. And truthfully, this was a sacred encounter. This was the most beautiful sacred encounter I've had in a long time because of this pain. Because I've had the encounter with the love, right? And the beauty and the connection and the sensuality and the playfulness and the fun, right? But I did not have the experience of heartbreak. And I needed to feel this experience of heartbreak because this is making me stronger. I had to step away and zoom out of the situation and see how these were much bigger forces in action where I wasn't to be held, responsible. I was to be held responsible, yes, of course, in my own nature, in my own being, but this was a catalyzing experience for me. It was a catalyzing experience for him and for all the human beings that we are in touch with. So I'm currently in touch with you right now. I've shared this experience with two of my amazing, beautiful lovers, and I'm sharing this experience with a lot of my friends too. And so, it's catalyzing for all of us. We all need to learn about this. We need to learn about integrity, about love, about being so fierce and so unwavering about standing in our own body, in our own skin, and owning everything. It's so hard. It's so hard, and this is why we need conscious people. We need people to be awakened so that we can awaken these truths within us. And so if at the moment you're having people in your life that you feel disconnected from, really dig deeper. Are you feeling disconnected because you're not allowing yourself to be seen fully? Or is it simply that they can't grasp you and it's time to close the doors and to move on? Right? That you can't, and that's fine. You have the right to close the door. You can always open it later. You don't have to feel like that door needs to be constantly open. You can close the door. You have that choice. You choose, you create in this moment, in this exact moment, you create what you want to create. And so I dare you to create the life you want to live. I dare you to create it, because the prize on the other end is coming back home to yourself. And when you're back home in yourself, you can smell what needs to be in your space, and you can smell what needs to be out of your space. So this is it. I hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know. I'm glad, Camille. You're saying this is exactly what I needed to hear. Yeah, just let me know if you're re-listening to the replay. If you're listening to the replay, just comment underneath. Ask me any questions. If you're going through anything right now, just reach out. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this in the real sense of the word. Right? We're here. We're a circle of sisters. Like, there's so many awakened sisters in this group. It's just fucking phenomenal. Like, I'm so... Thank you, Dawn, to you as well. Lots of love and hugs to you. Love you so much, girl. We're awakened beings in here, right? Like, we can do this. Right? We can do this. So, thank you so much for staying with me all the way through the end. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's an absolute honor to have you here and to be able to share this with you in such a, whatever it is, authentic, vulnerable, raw, whatever. Like, this is how it's coming out. I hope you got something out of this today, and that you really enjoyed it in your own unique way, and that you can take some of this out into the world, that you can call people out on their BS, that you can call yourself out on your BS. Right? Do not believe the lie that you can't be loved. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a lie. All right, beautifuls. feel so much better now that I've shared this. I let it out into the ether. I look forward to connecting to you soon. So much love, goddesses. Mwah. From Bali. Bye.